This is BYU Sports Nation, brought to you by the BYU Store, simulcast on BYU TV and BYU Radio. Now, from Studio B, here's Spencer Linton and Jarom Jordan.
BYU Sports Nation is live, your day-to-day play-by-play in Studio B, presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere. It is Thursday, September 9th. Wherever and however you're connected, great to have you with us. I'm Spencer Linton, teamed up alongside a man who has obtained a copy of the official BYU application to the Big 12, Jarom Jordan.
A lot of people have had questions about what this application looks like, what was in it. We have acquired this and now show it to you. It's just two photos. It's Taysom Hill jumping over Texas in 2014, and it's McKay Jacobson scoring the game-winning touchdown against Oklahoma. This is what BYU submitted to the league unofficially. And this is all that was required.
You beat the top two teams, or are they the top two teams, Texas?
Well, ex-members in a couple years, still current members.
Okay. Could be fellow members with BYU until 2025.
Feels like they will.
When you're
or at least a year.
When you're 4-1 combined against Texas and Oklahoma, and you have pictures like that, what else is needed?
It might even be 5-1. Like, it's good, which, by the way, I know we put out a tweet this morning for the question of the day that had the red Big 12 logo. We just put out the blue one, if you're upset. And I was one of those people that was upset.
No, make it blue!
No red this week.
No red this week.
Do we need to purge the set real quick? Let's do it right now. No red on the set. No red on the set.
Okay, Jarom is literally purging anything that has red on the set. This was suggested to us yesterday by one of our beloved followers as well on Twitter.
Buddy, sorry, you're gone.
Spuddy Buddy's gone. He's not.
You have red.
He's not even related to Utah in any. But hey,
Why would we have Utah stuff?
We're not messing around.
Any red?
Is there red thread anywhere else, Jarom?
Sorry,
Okay.
red on it.
Deli Gnome is out. This is impromptu, by the way. We did not plan for this. Jarom's feeling strongly about this. Okay?
There's a volleyball.
Here comes the volleyball. There's red on the volleyball. Get rid of the volleyball.
I think we're good.
If anybody else sees anything that has red on it, you let us know.
These game notes have the Utah logo on them. See ya. Gone. Okay? That's how serious we are here.
Get rid of the red.
No red.
It is done. We are all blue.
No red.
In Studio B. All right, man. Feeling better now?
I do feel better.
Mojo good?
Yeah, I feel great.
I'm about to make your life better.
The tallies are red.
There's nothing we can do about it. Well, no. We're going to call that like a blood orange. Okay?
A tiger's blood, yeah.
Blood orange.
It's not crimson.
For the tally lights. It's not on the set. Okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling better.
You can't see it on TV.
My kid comes home yesterday, pants inside out. Naturally, it's 3. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man,
sure,
blue and red. And I seriously tell my wife, hey, what's up with this? You know what week it is.
No red? No Spider-Man red? And you're a big Marvel guy. You love Spider-Man. Just not this week.
What are we doing?
Wow.
What are we doing?
All right, the mojo's good. We're all cleaned up, and I'm about to make your life better because we have a loaded Thursday show lineup. It is Big 12 Invitation Eve. At least that's what every major sports media outlet is reporting. If an invitation is a foregone conclusion, what's the next big question you all have? National college football writer Stewart Mandel for The Athletic will join us live to discuss those big questions. Plus, what would the divisions look like in a revamped Big 12? And don't miss former NFL and BYU linebacker Bryan Kehl with his pep talk before BYU tries to end the streak in Provo against Utah. Bring on today's BYU Sports Nation headlines.
Applications are in for Big 12 inclusion from the 4 schools reported to be joining, according to multiple sources. Jay Drew of the Deseret News adds this. BYU source confirmed to the Deseret News Wednesday night that the school completed the application process, and BYU officials are confident that the Cougars will be voted in. For more on this story, let's go to the Big 12 Update Center.
College football conference expansion update on BYU Sports Nation.
Yahoo Sports' Pete Kamel reports Big 12 presidents will hold an official vote tomorrow morning to invite BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF. This vote is, quote, by a source, largely considered a formality. This quote from Jason Shepard. Back to you.
That's awesome.
That's all what we need.
Which, by the way, Shep just texted us and said you have red on your sleeve with the USA, so I think you need to do the show shirtless.
Do I need? Well, I can't do that. Do I need to change my shirt? Someone bring me a new shirt.
It's tough because it's USA, but it's red.
That's it. Hey, September 11th. There's the tie-in.
And the U.S. beat Honduras last night 4-1. World Cup qualifier.
That played into why I chose
Are we making
this.
that an exception?
Because it's the United States, and the game against Utah is on September 11th. They were honoring the country. Is this the only exception? It's not on the set. It's on a person.
I really want you to lose the shirt and just do it. Just shirts and skins. That'd be the first time
with the higher-ups,
ever
Jarom.
do that.
Take it up with the higher-ups.
With God?
Nobody wants to see this frame after it lost 16 pounds. Come on now.
Still look good.
Well, I appreciate that. It's Big 12 invitation. Shep, if you feel so strong about it, bring me a new shirt. Go to the BYU store.
You come in shirtless.
Get me a shirt. I wear a medium. Let's go.
I got a polo in my office. Someone go get it.
BYU graduate transfer receiver Samson Nakua revealing yesterday he's healthy and ready to roll against his former team. Listen to this.
I'm expecting to play every week, honestly. It's always up to the coaches if they feel like I'm ready to. I know I've had minor issues in the past, but I feel 100%. I've been going all week this week, and I'm just ready to rock. And whenever they call my number, I'm just ready to play for them.
You cannot deny this man the opportunity to play against his former team. He's not missing this game.
Fun conversation with him yesterday that will air tomorrow on the show. Zach Wilson and Fred Warner named captains for the Jets and Niners, respectively. This is Warner's third straight year as a defensive captain, and Zach Wilson, yes, is a captain. That whole pre-draft thing is dead and done.
How cool is that? Corey Davis, his top receiver, says, look, he's not a rookie. He's different. He's ready to lead. I love that.
Love it.
Rivalry week for number 22 BYU women's soccer as well. And the Cougars visit Utah tonight in Salt Lake City. Cougars hoping to keep momentum rolling after a 7-0 blowout win against Marquette. All rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending.
You're talking about it, and so are we. It's What's Trending on BYU Sports Nation.
A Big 12 brotherhood is set to begin. At this point, again, I ask, which major sports outlet isn't reporting that BYU, along with Houston, Cincinnati, and UCF, will join the Big 12 Conference officially and formally as of Friday? So let's be very forthright. BYU into the Big 12 feels like a done deal.
Mm-hmm.
If that is the case, what is the next big question of BYU to the Big 12 for you?
There are three. What year is BYU in? What do the divisions look like? Texas and Oklahoma are in for now, but if it's 23, are they still in? We'll see. And then hoops, just celebrating how awesome hoops will be. I talked to someone who said they crunched the Ken Pom numbers and, hey, best basketball league in America. So what year? I imagine it won't be next year. I know everyone wants it to be next year, but BYU in its contracts, it looks like typically in the future football games has a 12-month situation where if BYU joins a league, they'll let them know, and if it's within 12 months of the game, that they would have to pay out for said game. So in theory, it'd only be like, week 1 next year? But I'm guessing that it's for 23. We'll see. Those are what some of the national reports say. And then with divisions, I know you put out a speculative division look. I really like it. And in fact, let's walk over that. I think those divisions are good. I frankly don't really care what the division split is. So here's what we'd have. This is what you put out. BYU, Texas Tech, TCU, Baylor, Oklahoma State, and Houston. And then the other division, West or East, whatever they're going to call them. I was hoping it'd be leaders and legends, but that's just me. Kansas State, Iowa State, Cincinnati, West Virginia, and UCF. So you get 2 newbies in each one. It's pretty geographical. I think that's great. I really like this. I think that's going to work. And then hoops, of course, it's going to be the best league in America. So, it's those questions. It's not if, people. It's when. And when is tomorrow, it sounds like. So this is super exciting. And those are my questions. There are many other questions to be had, but those are my main questions.
Sure. Yeah, and let's discuss a little bit more about which year BYU will be fully integrated. I'm with you. I think 2022 is a little ambitious. It would be fun.
It's a little quick.
Okay? It would be fun.
Yeah.
But I don't think it has to be that crazy and that fast-forwarded. BYU can take some time, really settle in. And even if BYU goes in 2023 and Oklahoma and Texas decide, hey, we're not leaving until 2025, that's still 2 full years with 14 teams in the conference. One of the questions I have is, with the AAC exceptions or stipulations, they're required to give 27 months notice and pay a $10 million exit fee. What can they do to try and expedite that? Because I would imagine the Big 12 is like, hey, if BYU's coming in 2023 as, a free agent, then how do we get the other 3 teams in? How much more would they have to pay? What will the AAC settle on?
You trade Kansas State and a second-round pick. and player to be named later.
Yeah, what happens? Because UConn, looking at the recent past, paid $17 million to expedite their exit from the AAC. Is that a similar number for Cincinnati,
yeah,
UCF, and Houston?
I don't know.
Or do they come later? Do those 3 teams come in 2024 because they have to let the full 27 months play out?
I'll be bummed if BYU's not in by 23.
Sure.
It'd be like, 24? What?
2023 feels like the year. I don't think
Yeah.
it's going to be any later than that for BYU specifically. But will the other 3 teams pay more? Will they work through the stipulations? Will they come to a compromise with the AAC to get in the same year as BYU?
Together.
Then it would be a 14-team conference if Oklahoma and Texas do what they say they're going to do and stay through 2025 because they don't want to pay an $80 million per school exit fee.
And it'd be through 24 fall, 25 spring. So it'd be, 3 more after this year football seasons, which could be really interesting. And then when you talk about the divisions too, it's interesting because anticipated that, okay, if it is 7 in each division, you're playing those other 6 plus 2 from the other division. So BYU's not playing West Virginia except for once every, 6 years or whatever, right?
Or every 4, it'd be every 4 years.
Yeah, well, if it's 6, you're only 2 per year. So it's every 3, it'd be every 3, but I mean, like, what if it's in Morgantown first? You may not play West Virginia for 5 or 6 years. It'll get weird with OU and Texas leaving when they leave and whatever. But it's super exciting. I cannot wait to dig in on the Big 12 more, where it's like, all right, now we have this thing we haven't had in a decade, which is conference affiliation, conference pride, everyone getting their bumper sticker, we joke or whatever. Oh, looks like we're making okay, we're going to put some
well, there you go.
gaff tape over the red by Ben Bagley,
the red has been taken care of.
Okay, which is awesome.
Okay.
We're making an exception for the Big 12 logo on the screen.
I don't need a new
that's
shirt.
The color.
We just need some gaff tape.
Just some gaff tape. I like that solution.
Cover it up.
I really do.
Is the logo on the screen right now? Is that orange? Or is that red?
No, that's red. But we don't have an alternate in time to upload, so we're fine.
Do we need to purge the graphics on the show?
Today and tomorrow.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, the divisions. Yeah, I speculated on
They
it.
just took it off.
It took off. Well done.
Like, enough.
Well done, technical director.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the divisions. I received a little bit of flack because people perceived that the Big 12 West division that I had, which has BYU, all 4 Texas schools remaining, and Oklahoma State in as the power division, and that the Big 12 East would be a cakewalk. So what's interesting,
They took the Big 12
logo's back, no red on it. Okay, or sorry, the graphics back, no red on it. The Big 12 East right now has number 8 Cincinnati and number 10 Iowa State in it.
Yes. In a couple of years, Cincinnati won't be a top 10 team anymore. They're not going to hold that forever.
Because you think their coach is going to leave?
Well, just
Luke Fickell.
It's hard to hold top 10 for like 5 years.
What about Iowa State, though?
That's
They're a team that's been ranked in each of the last 5 years.
Matt Campbell's going to be gone, probably.
Okay?
Yeah.
Point is,
in a couple years.
We don't know what these programs are
USC.
going to be in 3 to 4 years.
Yep.
And how the divisions are going to be. Oh, it's going to be a cakewalk. There's no way of knowing that.
Yeah.
Is UCF going to become a power now that they're in the Big 12?
What if UCF's way better?
What if they recruit the heck out of Florida now that they're a Power 5 school and they become dominant?
I see where the West is probably going to be tougher than the East, but it is what it is. I'm not going to be that picky. After all this time of wanting to be in a Power 5, I'm not going to get picky now that BYU is going to be in one. I'm just going to enjoy this. And then later we'll find things to complain about. But right now, let's just enjoy this.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know a number of you have asked, what does this do to BYU TV? if BYU gets into the Big 12, what happens? Does BYU Sports Nation go away? Do BYU Sports go away? Well, right now the Big 12 uses ESPN 3 or Watch ESPN for their third-tier rights.
Yeah, we'll be here. Don't worry.
BYU TV's not going anywhere.
We'll get it all figured out.
Not going anywhere. All right, our question of the day.
The church is like, nah, we're done.
You've heard some of our big questions. With the reports clearly pointing to BYU joining the Big 12 tomorrow, what is the next big question pertaining to BYU and the Big 12 for you? Let's go to Voice of the Nation.
This is the Voice of the Nation on BYU Sports Nation.
Brandon Jensen answers on Twitter. How will the future game schedules currently under contract be dealt with? Jeremy touched on that lightly.
Mm-hmm. This is a thing where, listen, they'll figure it out. BYU's going to have to decide. Yeah, another question. What kind of schedule do we want? I agree with what Utah does, which is we're going to play BYU, then we're going to play an FBS we can win,
like
and
then
G5? One FCS. Yes. A G5 specifically, yes. Because you're going to play a tough conference schedule. I agree with that.
Yeah, and which non-conference games that BYU already has scheduled
do they keep?
Anywhere from 1 to 8 years into the future, which ones do they keep?
And will the dates line up? Because now the league is dictating when your non-conference dates are and when your buys are, right?
Does BYU keep playing Boise State every year?
I would say no.
Does the game with Utah State go away? Maybe it's 1 year it's Utah State, the next year it's Boise State. Maybe there's a rotating
I would not
there.
want Utah and Boise State on the schedule with the Big 12 schedule. I just don't. If you're trying to win the league, you're trying to get the best bowl game you can, why? There's no point anymore.
You really are becoming a Utah mentality, aren't you?
No, it's a Power 5 mentality.
I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. It's not theirs. It's
the Power 5 mentality.
Yes. This ain't USC or Oregon or Alabama.
Have you bought your Big 12 sticker yet, Jarom?
No. No, I'm getting a tattoo. Coming up, what can you expect from Rivalry Game Day, the experience around and in the stadium?
And National College Football writer and insider Stewart Mandel joins us next. What can BYU expect after the Big 12 announcement? What are his big questions? This is BYU Sports Nation.
BYU Food to Go's convenient location at 2191 North Canyon Road in Provo makes bringing popular BYU foods to your next event easy. Everything's ready when you need it at the drive and load pickup. You drive in and they load no matter the weather. And stop in the on-site creamery for great BYU chocolate milk and ice cream. BYU Food to Go, bringing campus to your table. Call for details, 801-422-5001.
Dexter & Dexter is a full-service law firm offering a wide range of legal services. Since 1995, we have helped more than 20,000 Utahns both to navigate life's challenges and to make the most of life's opportunities. From personal injury to business law, and from adoption to bankruptcy, we are passionate about shouldering your burdens. To learn more about scheduling a no-obligation consultation, visit dexterlaw.com.
Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork sells Ford vehicles including the F-150, the pickup designed for work and play. Tim Daly Ford maintains a large inventory, providing more choices for selecting an F-150 with the power and engineering to carry and tow heavy loads. The F-150's design offers comfort, safety, and a range of options to choose from. Think Ford, think Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork.
This is BYU football with Kalani Sitake and Greg Wrubell.
When I was younger, I was a better dancer. Don't show any more dancing. Okay, good. I think we've developed some really good habits the last couple of weeks and looking to step it up again. A lot of great things can happen when they carry.
Not bad. That's good stuff.
Hey. Yeah, thank you for ending on that one. That was a good one.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
Countdown to kickoff is 2 hours, starting at 8 Eastern Time. Coming up, 2 hours and 15 minutes, actually. Coming up Saturday, BYU and Utah will get you ready as Jaron Hall and Los Cugadores play the Utes.
We are live in Studio B. This is your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play. I am Spencer Linton alongside Jarom Jordan. It feels like Big 12 Invitation Eve for BYU football.
It is. Let's go.
Is it a new holiday for all of Cougar athletics?
Tomorrow will be.
You bet it will.
We'll remember September 10th, 2021, yeah.
Joining us now to discuss BYU to the Big 12 and what it really means for the Cougars and the rest of the revamped Big 12 Conference is national writer for The Athletic, one of the great college football insiders, Stewart Mandel. Stewart, welcome back to the show. How has this week been for you covering this Big 12 bonanza?
Guys, I'm so excited because I've been coming on your show and other shows in that area for 10 years. And every time I get asked, is BYU going to be able to get in? And now it's happening. We can put that to bed once and for all.
Well, Stewart, it was great to talk to you. Thanks for coming on the show. No, I'm just playing. So obviously this is massive news for BYU and the Big 12. I think when Oklahoma, and I'd like to personally thank the SEC for this, these dominoes.
Yeah.
But right. But Oklahoma and Texas leave. Big 12, this question, are they going to get plucked? They stick together. They decide to expand. It feels like it's pretty obvious that, yes, that's a power league. They're getting some of the best of the rest. There are a couple teams that wish they were kind of in the mix, right? And maybe the Big 12 still expands with Boise State and Memphis or something. Who knows? But how do you feel about the Big 12 as constituted with those 4 additional teams?
I think it's the best possible outcome. Like you said, at first, everybody was panicking, and we didn't know if at one point, right, Bob Bowlesby accused ESPN of trying to poach their schools for the AAC, and ended up being the other way around. These are the 4 schools I would have picked if in fact people did ask what 4 schools, and I said these 4, and obviously all very strong for different reasons. People are very hung up on, is this still a power conference? I guess my answer would be, what is that? How do we measure that? Because even before you put the 4 new schools in, the other 8 are stacking up quite favorably right now with the Pac-12 on the field and the ACC outside of Clemson. And that's really what it comes down to. This conference can be a strong conference top to bottom, but can one of those 12 programs, which don't necessarily recruit top 25 classes, which are more developmental programs, become their Clemson, their Alabama, their Ohio State? I have my doubts about that part of it. So if you're talking, it's going to be a very strong football conference. Is it going to produce national championship contenders? That remains to be seen.
Stewart Mandel is with us on BYU Sports Nation. One of our big questions is, when should we expect full integration from BYU and the other 3 AAC schools into the Big 12? Could this happen as early as 2022 for BYU, or are all 4 schools going to unite together and go in 2023? What do you think?
I think it's all up in the air and it's all going to be negotiated. The goal is 2023, but technically the AAC schools have to give 27 months notice, which would put that out of reach. But all of these things are negotiable. With BYU, and I guess I would throw it back to you guys on this one, because they're an independent, they have so many contracts already for future games, and how realistically, how quickly can they unwind all of that? Because they're only going to have room for 3 non-conference games a year.
Yeah, there are clauses that BYU put in anticipating the possibility of this that make it so BYU doesn't even have to pay out to the other team in most, if not all, instances. So I think there's a 12-month clause in there, so I'd imagine BYU will play as an independent next year, so they don't have to pay those out, although we're only 2 weeks into the season. In theory, they could pay the 2 people out. Notre Dame's anticipated to be a game in Vegas. That's a big one regardless. So I'm thinking 23. We're thinking 23 is probably the way for BYU to go, since it's single and ready to mingle, unlike the AAC teams who have to buy their way out in 27 months and all that, right? So it's going to be interesting.
Very important, yeah. It's very important for the Big 12 to get this up and running because of the TV deal that's coming up. You want to be able to show those TV partners, this is our new product, and hey, look, it's pretty good. The Texas OU part of it is the part we just can't figure out. Are they really going to be bound and stay, and you're actually going to have a 14-team league for a couple of years? I know the Big 12, that's what they want. I don't think Texas and OU want that. I think they want to figure out how to get out of there sooner, but it could cost a heck of a lot of money to do that.
Yeah, and in your opinion, Stewart, would it be good for college sports in general to have Oklahoma and Texas in kind of a weird divorced house stay through 2025? Would it make it more compelling, or would it just make it more of a distraction?
I think that's a great question. Andy Staples, my colleague, wrote this yesterday. I hadn't thought about it. with all of the expansion that's happened in this century, nobody has ever stayed as a lame duck in their conference for more than 1 year. And so we're talking about 4. And I think you used a good word in distraction. I don't know if it's a distraction to the rest of the public, but internally, do you really want to be dealing with these dynamics where, technically OU and Texas have a vote on Friday, right? On the new members, even though they're the reasons why they have to do this in the first place. And those ADs are going to keep coming to conference meetings for another 4 years. And I keep saying what's going to really accelerate it is when OU and Texas see how hostile it's going to be when they go into other stadiums this year. It could get really ugly. So, I think it's best that you hit reset and say, this is our new conference. This is what we're going to look like going forward, even though that means you're, losing your 2 big national brands.
We'll see how long it takes for BYU to be a full member with payment or whatever. I don't really care. I just want BYU in the Big 12. They'll figure that out, right? We saw it with Utah when they were integrated into the Pac-12. Oh, by the way, there's a game with Utah Saturday, which has been put on the back burner in the weirdest way possible. BYU is trying to avoid a record 10th straight loss to Utah. Neither team has won 10 in a row ever in the series. So what do you think of the matchup between these two teams this Saturday?
I'm looking forward to it. These games are always awesome. It stinks that they didn't play last year. It's really hard to. We saw BYU play a full season last year. We saw Utah play 5 games. We saw Utah play an opener against an opponent that's not very. You can't really gauge them against very much. BYU played a Pac-12 team, so I lean toward the Utes, and it's mostly just because. Maybe Jaron Hall goes on to have a great career there, but I've seen 4 years of Charlie Brewer. I know what he's capable of. And he's got a lot of experience around him, whereas obviously BYU is breaking in a lot of new starters. But that cliche, throw out the records. I would also say throw out the Athlon preseason previews for this game because, there have been many years where this game didn't necessarily reflect, what those teams went on to do that season.
Stewart Mandel is with us on BYU Sports Nation. The Utah Utes play in Salt Lake County. They jokingly call it, or maybe seriously call it, Pac-12 country now. Apparently, Utah County, where BYU plays, is going to become Big 12 country. Do you think that this will enhance the rivalry now that BYU is seemingly a Power 5 school? Or, again, is it already enough of a rivalry?
I mean, it's all right. I always tell people it's the most intense rivalry that just doesn't get enough attention. It's not, obviously it doesn't get the national attention of the Iron Bowl or Ohio State, Michigan or whatnot, but man, those fans go at each other. and it's a good question because a lot of that over the last decade has been however you want to call it, jealousy, resentment, Utah fans, sticking it in their face that they're a power conference school and BYU is not. I just think it'll be good for the rivalry because I think this is going to improve recruiting for BYU and, that they should become, you shouldn't have 10-game losing streaks when you're able to recruit at the level they will. So yeah, I think it's good for college football. I think it's great that BYU, who I've always said is a Power 5 school without the Power 5 affiliation, won't have that stigma, if you will, anymore. And by the way, underrated aspect of all this, coming in 2023, we hope, Big 12 after dark.
Ooh!
Right?
Yep.
Yes.
BYU is going to help get some of those Big 12 games in that 10 p.m. Eastern window.
Oh yeah, 10:26 specifically. We're so used to these late starts kill us, man. We got church at 9 a.m. the next morning sometimes, little kids. What's going on, man? Yeah. Any big takeaways from week 1 of college football?
Yeah, I mean, I think of all the games, the most impactful was UCLA LSU. We saw the Chip Kelly Oregon rushing game that we used to see at Oregon, and he just seemed confident and happy again, and given how the rest of the Pac-12 struggled, really gives you some reason to think they can really contend in that conference. And then obviously, exact opposite for LSU. Sometimes these week 1 results are misleading, but I expected better, especially from their defense. So it has you, rethinking predictions and directions for those two teams.
Stewart, we say it every time and we mean it every time. We love the Athletic, the content there. We go there every day, Love your Audible podcast. For those that might be new to all of this, how do they find more of your fantastic content?
Just go to The Athletic, and I would highly recommend it right now, theathletic.com, because everything's 50% off, which is $2.99 a month. I mean, especially if you've been following realignment and you've been doing it without The Athletic, I feel bad for you, because Max Olson has been breaking everything on the Big 12 expansion front, and our whole team as well. But it's not just expansion. Obviously, we cover the games, and hopefully people enjoy that. And by the way, we also have every other major sport covered. So theathletic.com.
Yes, sir. Great resource, great website. Thanks for hanging out with us, Stewart, during such a big week, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. BYU to the Big 12. See, now that we've talked to Stewart Mandel, he's been our guy. We've asked, like he said, we've asked him.
Million times.
What's going to happen? Is there a chance BYU gets into the Power 5 conference?
Million times.
I'm so glad that we got to talk to him.
Finally.
On Big 12 Invite Eve.
Yes. Might just bring him on tomorrow to be like, we did it. Thanks.
We
bye.
did it. Woo!
Coming up, a rivalry week interview with Bryan Kehl.
And what will ESPN specifically be calling the rivalry game this weekend? Because that old moniker apparently is gone the wayside. Details next on BYU Sports Nation. Hi, Spencer Linton here, letting you know when your company joins the BYU team as a corporate partner, your brand can be featured in sports programming on BYU TV and BYU Radio. In addition to all of the great games, you can be part of the BYU coaches shows, place your message in Countdown to Kickoff, basketball pre- and post-game shows, and each weekday on BYU Sports Nation. We invite your team to join ours and become a corporate sponsor of BYU Athletics. For details, email sponsorship@byu.edu today.
If I got hurt and was laid up at home, I wouldn't even think to call a lawyer. What a hassle. I'd want to meet them first.
What if I told you that for your first consultation, your lawyer will come to you, home or hospital?
Really?
Really.
They do that?
If you've been seriously injured, we'll come to you. It's your job to get better. It's our job to deal with the insurance companies and protect your legal rights.
Learn more at siegfriedandjensen.com.
Familiar with the BYU TV app? Yes.
I beg your pardon?
Sure, it's got great original TV shows. But it also gives you access to family films for free.
Wow. Awesome!
So gather around, grab some popcorn, and let us do the rest.
It'll be fun.
Watch some of your favorite films anytime, anywhere. With the free BYU TV app.
I like it.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Visible Supply Chain Management.
What's your favorite social media post about the BYU-Utah rivalry? There are a lot of funny ones, but they likely won't compare to the latest BYU Sports Nation right now. Check it out on the BYU Sports Nation Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube accounts.
BYUSN rolls on to interact with the show and get great content throughout the day. Yes, get involved with social media, as Jarom was just alluding to. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
I am so excited for what's coming up tomorrow. We talked about some of the potential Big 12 divisions. We'll see. We don't know. I don't even know if we'll know that tomorrow. I don't need that answer right away because in those divisions, we have not included Texas and Oklahoma, by the way. So they may be tweaked with that based on when they leave the Big 12.
All right. Understandably, we have a lot going on this week and certainly this Saturday. So to discuss what's going to happen before and during the game, we will be joined by David Almadova in just a few moments, but not before we whip it. The Cougar Whip Around, presented by Visible Supply Chain Management, tackling America's most challenging shipping problems.
Reportedly, ESPN sent a memo to employees yesterday, although I checked with one ESPN employee, he hadn't received it himself, encouraging them to not use the term Holy War for the BYU versus Utah football game. We don't use it. BYU doesn't want it used, so we don't use it here. But so what should the new rivalry game name be?
The Beehive Battle.
I had Beehive Brawl.
Okay.
I like that. Another one, the in-state game.
The in-state game just might have to be the ratified one. Thank you, Kyle Whittingham.
The I-15 Bowl.
Ah, yes, the in-state game.
The I-15 Bowl. School of the Quarterbacks versus School of the Prophets.
Ooh.
We don't like to admit that, but that's what it is.
Yeah, I like the Beehive Brawl or the alliteration of the Beehive Battle.
Brawl might not be one they
I know
want.
that they have the Beehive Boot given to the team that is the most successful within the state.
I think the Beehive Battle is Weber State, Southern Utah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I read that. I didn't know that this morning, but I think that's what they call it.
Well, thanks, Weber State and Southern Utah.
Or BYU Utah just step on that and say, yeah, we're calling it.
How about the game?
That's Stanford Cal.
That's true. Or there's the big game. No, there's just the game.
The game. Yeah. The game.
Yeah, we need some help with this. We need some help with this. Maybe it's the in-state game. The in-state game is hilarious.
The in-state games? Okay, when Kyle Whittingham said that, I hated that. But now BYU is going to join the Big 12, and I kind of appreciate it.
I kind of love it. It's hilarious.
Because we have that mindset now.
All right, for now, the in-state game. We're taking submissions.
The not holy war.
Yes.
The unholy war? I know that
I have no
OG Christians, Muslims complicated.
Yes. All right, Jarom. On to the next. The 3-Man Weave blog released its top 100 players in college basketball and has Alex Barcelo at number 19. Will Alex Barcelo be a top 20 player in the nation this year?
No, but it'll be a top 100 guy. He's a good player. Top 20 is a stretch, but top 50 maybe? Top 100?
Think about this. If Alex Barcelo is indeed a top 20 college basketball player in the nation, then he's going to be drafted.
Right, and I personally think it'll be a stretch to have him drafted. But I think he'll have a very successful professional career.
It's a nice nod for sure, but 19th. Wow, who else is projecting Alex Barcelo to be drafted?
Well, we're grabbing a random blog, so there you go.
Yeah.
We love Alex. He's going to be awesome.
I would love for him to be a top 20 player. Let's do it, bro. Let's go. All right. Now, we are pleased to welcome in Associate Athletic Director and Director of Marketing and Promotions at BYU Athletics, David Almodovar, who joins us to preview a massive weekend. David.
What's up, D?
I'm sure the emotions are high. It's buzzing over there in the student athletic building. How you feeling right now?
Feeling awesome.
Understandable.
How you guys doing?
Hey, we're good, man.
Hey, by saying feeling awesome, you can't say it, but I know why you're feeling awesome because tomorrow's going to be fun. You can't even make a face back to us about that, but that's okay. So what's planned?
It's because Aloha Friday's tomorrow.
Yeah, that too. It's going to be an aloha to the Big 12 too. What is in and around the BYU Utah game that is certainly special this year as we gather back together for the first time and on 9/11?
Yeah, so we'll have Cougar Canyons back. So we're excited for that. We'll have a few 9/11 things going on Cougar Canyon. We'll have our Cougar Walk back. So would love fans to greet our team as they come to LaBelle Stadium on Saturday. So Cougar Canyon from 4:30 to 7:30. Cougar Walk will be at 6. And then when we get into the pregame, we're going to have a pregame 9/11 little ceremony with some bagpipes and Scottish band. So they'll be there. We'll have a live anthem singer, Jordan Young, who was a part of The Voice this past season. He was on Blake Shelton's team. So Utah native, currently lives in Austin. He'll be doing the anthem. And we've got quite a few American flags that will be draped around our venue. So we'll have American flags going up in the end zone. We'll have a 60-yard flag on the field. And we'll have an American flag that'll be hanging in Preble Canyon. And so excited for that. And then we will have our team, as they do their run out, we'll have they'll run out 13 American flags in honor of those soldiers that were killed in Afghanistan and Kabul.
Amazing.
So a lot going on. We're excited. Been a very busy week, or very busy last few months, just to say that. And we'll also have a flyover.
Oh, man.
Dave McCann has been excited, as he always is.
We can't forget the patriotic flyover. I love it. I mean, 20-year anniversary of 9/11. I'm fascinated by the Tower Run. For those that aren't familiar with it, walk us through the details of the Tower Run, where it's going to be, and how they get involved.
So it's a tower climb, and fans can come to LaBelle Stadium Saturday morning. It'll start at 8 o'clock. And so they got the opportunity to climb, to walk. It's not a timed event, to climb 2,071 stairs within the stadium. So that's one time around and then about another quarter. And so this is in honor of the first responders who passed in the towers in New York City. And so we're paying tribute to them and to honor them.
I'll be there, and I'm participating. Yeah, I was training this morning for it, and there's no way I could possibly be ready for this, physically or emotionally, frankly. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll get a T-shirt. We have a commemorative coin, and then each person that climbs it will each receive a badge of a fallen first responder that they'll be able to carry with them. So really cool stuff.
Yeah, outstanding. We look forward to it.
Jarom, I tried. Sorry, Spencer. I tried the other day to do it, Jarom, and I will just be cheering from the bottom.
I'm intimidated by it, honestly, physically and emotionally. I think it's going to be quite the event.
Yeah, we look forward to it. We'll document it, and we'll show you what we gather with Jarom in countdown to kickoff. David, thanks for the time, my friend.
Awesome.
Outstanding work.
Great to see you guys.
You got it. David Almadova from BYU Athletics, Associate Athletic Director over Marketing Promotions. They do an incredible job.
Okay, coming up, the special red flag BYU's running out Saturday.
Plus, you want to hear a pep talk from a fired-up former NFL and BYU linebacker? Bryan Kehl's got you. What would he say to this Cougar team? This is BYU Sports Nation.
They prefer to be bringing the heat, getting set for success, demonstrating their drive. But when their blood and sweat turns to tears or anything else, we lay the groundwork for BYU's athletes to hit the ground running again, and you as well. Intermountain Healthcare, official medical provider for BYU Athletics.
One thing Mountain America has learned over nearly a century of helping members achieve their financial dreams is that we are stronger together. We achieve great things together. And while we are still here to serve you, we know together feels different right now. It might take some time, but we're looking forward to the day when we can gather together again. We're still here, guiding you forward.
Hey Cougars, Coach Dave Rose here. I might not be on the court right now, but I still play on my sport court basketball court at home. Now more than ever, we all need a safe place to stay home, stay healthy, and play with family. I have an active family with my kids, grandkids, former players. My wife and I decided the best thing we could give our family is the gift of backyard memories. Sport Court provides a place to help kids become champions, and they're certainly popular in our neighborhood. For our new home, we chose Sport Court. Learn more about designing yours at sportcourt.com.
Let's kick off AFR on BYU TV.
What they did in that fourth quarter was not unexpected in my book.
Everyone did their job perfectly, and it resulted in, obviously, a touchdown.
Who knew that he had these kind of hands?
And right at the snap of the football, they both go right downhill. And that was the end of that. He knocked him down pretty quickly.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
Get ready for BYU and Utah Saturday night, 8 Eastern, as Ben Bagley and Riley Nelson get things going. Greg Wrubell will take over what's called Game. It's on BYU Radio and the BYU Radio app.
Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation, live on a Thursday from Studio B. Alongside Jarom Jordan, I'm Spencer Linton. It's nice to have you with us during what we're thinking is going to be a very big week.
It is either way, Spence. It is either way.
Yes, emphasis on the Big 12 and, of course, the rivalry game. And who better to help us discuss both than former NFL and BYU linebacker great Bryan Kehl. Bryan, welcome to the show. It is Big 12 week. It is rivalry week. How would you describe your emotions right now?
It is dreams come true week for all of us. This is a happy time.
It's going to be awesome. Obviously, there's a game. I was just informed BYU it's actually playing Utah this Saturday, which is exciting. I'm just kidding. The Big 12 stuff expected to be tomorrow. So what's kind of bigger emotionally in your mind right now? Because the Big 12 is this amazing thing, yet BYU's hoping to end the streak Saturday.
They're just different. They're both huge. Obviously, getting in a P5 is a long time coming. I mean, it's the thing that we've been hoping and dreaming for 10 years now. And to see that finally happen it solves so many problems and helps us out, boosts us up, lifts our spirits, gets us excited, reinvigorates fans. There's just so many things that it does. Oh, and we've lost to our rival 9 times in a row. So I'd kind of like to end that as well. So,
Bryan, I think we do this every year, but it's fantastic every time. What would your pregame speech to this year's 2021 BYU football team sound like before the Utah game?
So I can't remember if I've said this on the show before. And if I have, then, here it is again. But so I played on some really bad teams. And one team that was bad that I played on was the Rams. And I played on some great teams too. I'm talking about in the NFL. One bad team that I played on was the Rams in 2011. We went 2-14. We're the worst team in the league. And one of the 2 games that we won was at home versus the Saints, who were very good at that time. They had just won the Super Bowl the 2 years before that, and they were really good. And they were coming to town. And anyway, our running back, Steven Jackson, gave a speech before the game. It was the best motivational speech I've ever heard. And it absolutely lit a fire under all 53 guys in that locker room. And we went out and put a beat down on the Saints. And I really think it stemmed back to that speech. And the essence of the speech was, he looked at us eye to eye and he said, as a man, there comes a certain time where you have to say enough is enough. Sick of getting beat every week. And, and on and on and on. Fantastic speech, passionate, fiery. That's what I would say to these guys in Provo that I'm jealous of, who get to suit up on Saturday night. Enough is enough. There has to come a time as a man where you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not putting up with this anymore. As a fan base, we're not putting up with this anymore. And they have outplayed us, not just in the 9 games that they beat us, but they've outplayed us for 20 years now. In 06 and 07, we should have beat them by 30 points, and we barely won because they played better in that game than we did, even though we had a team that was way better than them. Enough is enough. I'm sick of it. I hope these kids just wake up in a fighting mood every day this week and just go put it on them on Saturday night.
Amen, man. Enough is enough. And it's really interesting. Let's go. BYU's playing Utah, but they're also playing history. So it's kind of a heavy burden for these guys. But, yes, hopefully they can execute. There's going to be a juiced, packed LaVell Edwards Stadium that for the first time is gathering together since 2019. For the first time is gathering under, we hope, the announcement of an acceptance to the Big 12. There's going to be so much juice Saturday. And, oh, by the way, it's 9/11. And, oh, by the way, we're remembering Ty Jordan and the 13 who died recently in the military, one of which from Utah. There's a lot of emotions going into this.
So many storylines.
Before a game, how did you channel those emotions to be productive? Because I could see where you could be burdened by the streak. You could be stoked by the idea of it ending, the Big 12, all the things we just discussed.
Yeah, it's emotional game, and all games are awesome and they're exciting, and it's different for different people. Being a Utah kid, a Salt Lake kid, it was different for me. I went to the rivalry game almost every year in the 90s, and my brother played. He was on the team for 5 years with his redshirt year, and we had season tickets. We went to, before he played. It was something like I came of age. Like the first BYU Utah game I remember is the first game they won in 93. The first game they had won in a long time. I mean, in 93 with the 57 yard field goal. And then they came and they ripped down one of our goalposts. And that was 93. So I was 9 years old. I remember that. I remember being pissed off that they came and tore down our goalpost. And, this is fun. It's the essence of sport, especially college sports, the rivalry, and there's just emotions are going to be high. And for whatever reason, in the last 20 years, they have managed it better. And, it's time. It's enough is enough. It's time for us to manage it better and exercise these demons.
Bryan Kehl is with us on BYU Sports Nation. passionate speech about the BYU-Utah game. Understandably, we're all excited about the Big 12, but let's stay within the matchup. Execution-wise and on the field, what does BYU have to do this year that hasn't happened in the previous 9 games to flip the script?
There's one thing, and it's so easy. It's glaringly obvious. Protect the football. You got a football on your desk right there, right in the middle, front and center. That baby is the most important thing. You got to protect that. And if you look at the last 10 years, Utah's done a better job of that. We have been sloppy with the football. We spot them points, and you can't do that. You just can't do that at any game. You can't do it in a rivalry game. We have to be better at protecting the football. And then on the flip side, we have to be opportunistic. We have to create turnovers. If you look back, I think it was that, was it the 2014 game up at Rice Eccles where we did win the turnover battle, but we didn't score off of those turnovers.
2016,
and,
yes.
6 takeaways.
Or 16. That's what I meant. 16, yes. 16. That was the 2-point conversion game.
Yes.
We won the turnover battle, but we didn't do anything with the turnovers. So it's twofold. You can't just get turnovers. You got to score off of them. Utah has been absolutely excellent in that facet. And if you look at the last 10 years, why they have dominated, there's no bigger reason than that. So it's be careful with the ball and then be opportunistic on the other side of it.
9 defensive touchdowns in the 9-game losing streak. 6 pick sixes, 3 scoop and scores. It's just stupid.
That's just insane.
Yes, avoid that. Yeah. Okay, so you were at the Arizona game. We talked in the airport. It was great to catch up. Let's talk about what you saw against Arizona that gives you hope that BYU is going to play well against Utah, and then what you didn't see that you hope is going to be way better.
Yeah, so it was a great game. A lot of fans were really discouraged by the second half of that game, and I was as well, but not to the extent that fans are. Fans, by and large, and lots of times they overreact to things. And so when Arizona made a little run, I think there was a bit of an overreaction. And the reason I say that is it was kind of consequential. Football is a game of momentum, and they got a huge momentum boost when their punter kicked one of the best punts I've ever seen that bounced and angled out at the 1. And then I think we had a poor play call on second down. It's easy to second guess hindsight, but regardless, we end up with the safety, so they get the 2 points, bunch of momentum, short field after the kick after safety. They end up scoring a touchdown. They 9 points. Now they're back in the game. They have momentum. If that punter doesn't make that great play, BYU wins by 20 plus, and they never get that hope and that momentum. And so, the game was really impressive to me. I liked our play calling. By and large, I liked our execution. I liked the way Hall played. I liked the way he threw the ball. He took his chances. I liked the way he was careful with the ball. I liked the way, their quarterback, I don't remember his name, but he played a great game. He had a turnover. He threw it up for grabs. In the red zone, you can't do that. In the end zone, at least, you can't do that. So at any rate, the game was good. There was a lot of positives. I think it was a great first game. What I would like to see better, especially on defense, is just more aggression and better angles and tackles. There was so many times where they caught the ball with tons of space. We didn't, as defenders, didn't use leverage properly and allowed them to get too much extra yardage, and just was soft defense. And that's what helped contribute in them getting back in the game. Against Utah, I want to come out hot, aggressive, hit them in the mouth, give them nothing.
Bryan, always motivational. We love talking with you. I wish we could do it more often. In fact, I can't wait for you to come down to Big 12 country on Saturday and watch the Cougars take on the Utes, man. Big 12 country, let's go.
I look forward to leaving Pac-12 country where I live and going into Big 12 country.
Bring a cowboy hat. You'll fit in better that way.
Yes, sir. Thanks,
good.
Bryan. Bryan Kehl with us on BYU Sports Nation. He's so good.
He's great. I love Bryan.
How about the Steven Jackson story?
Oh.
That's great. Enough is enough!
As a man, you have
yes.
to look yourself in the mirror.
I love that.
Okay, coming up, a rise and shout out to some elite viewers.
And what is your next big Big 12 question? If BYU's already in, what's the next question? This is BYU Sports Nation.
On the basic level, we offer transportation. We carry 4 wheels, tailgates, and a place to rest your rump. Beyond that, we provide adventures, opportunities, and jobs well done. So perhaps our favorite offering is our full line of trucks, including the new Nissan Titan. Right off I-15, Tim Daly Nissan Southtown and the popular full-size Nissan Titan. Think Nissan. Think Tim Daly.
Stories have a way of framing some of the important conversations that we're already having and giving us the language that we sometimes have a hard time finding. The Appleseed is a show filled with stories for you and your family. Tall tales, fairy tales, folk tales, personal and family tales, all kinds of tales from all kinds of tellers. And we always hope that the stories that we bring you on a show spark memories for you that you can share with the people that you love.
This is Countdown to Kickoff.
You think players are tough? Broadcasters are way tougher than players.
Absolutely. Algier into the end zone, a little punctuation.
That is how you start Countdown to Kickoff.
Touchdown! Isaac Rex laying out for the score.
I'm going to mark that one down. That's big enough.
Early spicy, mark it down.
Mark it down.
Yeah.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics.
BYU Sports Nation always available on demand via the BYU TV and BYU Radio apps. Our question of the day, with all reports pointing to BYU joining the Big 12 on Friday. What's the next big question pertaining to BYU and the Big 12? Our elite voice of the day presented by Sundance Mountain Resort from @MadEyeCosmo. How big of a raise will Spencer Linton, Jarom Jordan, and Jason Shepard get with the Big 12 money?
Here's the raise. Ready? There it was.
All right. Woo!
Yep.
I'll take you to lunch. How about that?
And I'm coming back down.
Today's Rise and Shout Out presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics. Billy Nixon and BYU football will be running out a new flag at the start of Saturday's game. An acceptable and heartfelt showing of red as they honor the life of Ty Jordan. It's going to be run to the Utah sideline. I love this.
This is fantastic. Great move.
Classy move. Our thanks to today's guests, Stewart Mandel and Bryan Kehl.
Sorry to Dennis Spitter, ran out of time because tomorrow is the day.
For Jarom Jordan, I am Spencer Linton. Shout out to Mark Teferi. See you tomorrow on Big 12 Friday.
I saw him in the stands Saturday.
Awesome. Yeah. Go Cougs.